Imagine this. You wake up one morning, make your coffee, sit at your desk, and see the email. Your job has been replaced, not by a person, by software, no warning, no backup plan, no exit interview. Just a short, automated note thanking you for your service and wishing you all the best in your future endeavors. That feeling? That gut punch of fear and helplessness? That's what I never wanted to experience again. And it's exactly why I decided to give myself 1 week, just 7 days, to future-proof my career before the next disruption decided I was obsolete. Hi all, it's Luna. Let's get real for a second. Most of us aren't taught how to adapt to a future that keeps changing its rules. We're told, go to school, get a job, stay loyal. But what happens when that loyalty gets repaid with a pink slip? I knew I couldn't wait for the world to hand me stability. I had to build it for myself. So I took on a challenge. 1 week, no expensive classes, no corporate seminars, just daily intentional action to make myself indispensable in a world being rewritten by algorithms and automation. Here's what I realized. Job security today is an illusion. I've watched friends, smart, hardworking, passionate people, get swept up in layoffs. Not because they were underperforming, but because their roles had stopped evolving even if they hadn't. The truth? Industries are shifting right under our feet. Finance, automated, healthcare, disrupted. Even creative fields, graphic design, copywriting, music are being touched by AI. It's no longer about how good you are at your job. It's about how quickly you can evolve with your job. Being good is baseline. Being adaptable is the advantage. So what does future-proof even mean? I used to think it was about becoming a tech genius overnight. Learn to code, learn machine learning, be a data scientist. Nope, that's not the answer, at least not for most of us. Future-proofing to me is about building a career that's resilient. A career that flexes when the world shifts but doesn't break. And that means focusing on 3 things: constant learning, not degrees, but curiosity and skill stacking. Real relationships, because who you know still matters. Soft skills, the ones AI can't replace. Empathy, creativity, leadership, critical thinking. That's the foundation. So I built a 7-day plan to strengthen each one. Day 1, I took inventory of myself. I wrote down every skill I use regularly, every project I've worked on, and then asked, what's outdated, what's still valuable, and what's missing? It was humbling. I realized I'd been coasting on skills that were slowly losing market value, and I was completely ignoring new tools that could make me faster and more effective. Day 2, I researched trends in my space. Where is my industry headed? What new platforms are being adopted? What tools are becoming standard? I learned about AI tools for project management, how companies were using Notion with automations, and how prompt engineering was becoming a must-have skill even outside tech. Day 3, I picked one micro skill, not a 6-week course, not a certification, just one small, powerful upgrade. For me, that was Notion automation and prompt writing. I spent a few hours learning workflows and best practices, and then practiced building systems for myself. That alone made me more valuable, not just to employers, but to myself. Day 4, I plugged into people. I joined 2 active online communities, one on Slack, one on LinkedIn. And I didn't just lurk, I introduced myself, asked a question, and offered help where I could. What happened? Real-time feedback, new perspectives, collaboration invites, just from showing up and being curious. Day 5, I worked on communication. I wrote a clear, simple 2-minute pitch about who I am and what I do, and practiced saying it out loud. I recorded myself, adjusted my tone, and got comfortable talking about my work. And that confidence, it translated to how I write emails, show up in meetings, and even how I post online. Day 6, I reached back. I sent messages to 5 people I hadn't spoken to in over a year. Former colleagues, mentors, past clients, and most of them replied. One turned into a freelance offer, another invited me to speak on a panel. All from just reaching out with a, hey, how have you been? Day 7, I reflected. What changed in just 1 week? I felt different. Not just smarter, more grounded, more aware, more prepared, not perfect, but in motion. Let me tell you about someone who inspired me. Emma. She was a software engineer at a small company. Then layoffs hit, teams were cut, her department shrank. She saw the writing on the wall, and instead of waiting, she moved. She started attending local AI meetups. She learned just enough machine learning to understand how it applied to her work, and she began sharing her learning journey in public, on LinkedIn, in forums, even on a personal blog. A year later, she wasn't just employed, she was in demand. She landed a role at a leading tech firm with a 35% salary boost and hybrid flexibility. Why? Because she didn't cling to the past. She leaned into the future. Here's the real secret to future-proofing. It's not about mastering every shiny new trend. It's about becoming the type of person who can adapt when things shift. The kind of person who keeps learning, who builds relationships, not just resumes, who sees change and says, let's go. Soft skills matter more than ever. Emotional intelligence, resilience, problem solving, and being someone people want to work with, not just hire. Those aren't extras, they're your career insurance. So let's bring it all together. If you're ready to take one step toward future-proofing your path, here's the exact plan I used. Audit your skills, honestly. Research your industry's trends. Choose one small skill to learn this week. Join an online community and participate. Practice clear, confident communication. Reconnect with 5 people from your past. Reflect on what changed and what's next, and that's it. No perfect plan, just momentum, and once you have that, you're already ahead of the curve. If this spoke to you, tell me in the comments, what's one thing you'll do this week to invest in your future self? And if you want to keep growing with me, make sure you check out my video I was laid off and found this breakthrough. It's a game changer, and more to come as we rebuild and level up together. You've got this. I believe in you. Let's grow together.